Welcome back, everybody. I am the Jimmer. This is the Propane 1 million RP King of the Hill Championship. It's going to be episode 18 featuring the Sword of Light by Xionyx. This is a triple entry with the main craft you see here, the Sword of Light, using a laser-based offense, and it is accompanied by 2 escort fighters which use a missile offense. So these are going to be high-speed distraction and support vessels, and then presuming most of the damage is going to be coming here from the sword, dealing its laser damage. It's a very cool-looking design, very sword-like. I imagine once the laser starts going, this will be the handle, and then the sword will shoot out like a laser beam or a lightsaber. But very cool. Just kind of taking a peek at all of these before we'll reset this and get the battle underway. And I'm still waiting on feedback before I should have updated the rules already. But for anybody who's watching, if you're getting ready to submit something, go ahead and let me know if you want me to show the exploded view, like where you go into build mode and press P and all the blocks open up so you can see how people are putting these together. I imagine most people won't mind, but I mean, I know some of you are probably going to want to keep your secrets and your proprietary designs, your competitive edge, under wraps, out of the prying eyes of the public. We'll just have to wait for some battle damage in that case and have a peek at the holes in your hull. But I think that's a pretty good introduction here. This is the Sword of Light by Xionyx, as well as the 2 support fighters. Let's get everything reset and get the actual battle underway. And we'll get the sword loaded in first, and then the Sword of Light is going to be going up against our 3rd place king, the Iron Maid and Coffee Grinder by Poldarn. And I think by now you all know what the Iron Maid and Coffee Grinder are going to do. Use lots of shielding to hide behind while they just fire away with some really powerful advanced custom cannons, as well as missiles and torpedoes. See an initial missile strike coming in from the fighters. Let's get the interface off, and those fighters just lighting up the Coffee Grinder there. Looks like the Coffee Grinder was actually able to survive. Pretty surprising. Most of the blasts must have hit the backside and shot through the Coffee Grinder. You can see the laser firing away and able to detonate the Coffee Grinder there. And let's see what the Iron Maid is doing. There we go. We see that huge volley from the front guns there, taking aim at one of the fighters. Looks like a couple of those shells hit. Ooh, taking a lot of missiles there on the front. Firing flares, but it did not look like those missiles were distracted. You can see the heavy smoke on the Iron Maid negating quite a bit of that laser damage, but a huge explosion there. Looks like, yeah, looks like this turret getting lit up, and then with the backside facing the Sword of Light, the Iron Maid went up in a huge explosion there. The sword able to get into the tender backside and do the damage. I believe that is AI dead. Yes. So it looks like the Sword of Light was able to win that battle very easily at 100%, and one of its guards down to 77, the other just fine, 100%. Let's get this reset and get the next battle underway. Alright, and battle number 2 is go. See, it looks like the Sword of Light trying to get some distance as the fighters move in and fire their missile volleys. Hear those engines on the Sword of Light struggling to keep up the power with these very powerful lasers, draining those batteries. You can see all these missiles are getting taken out by the lambs, very far away, not even getting anywhere near the Sword of Light. It looks like we may have lost one of the fighters. And it appears the coffee grinder is still alive, but not for long. Here comes a missile volley. And surprisingly, the coffee grinder able to take 3 missiles to the face there and not explode. Appears to also be drawing the laser fire from the sword. How far away is the Sword of Light? Sort of just on the edge of the bounds there. I don't think that's anything to worry about. Most definitely within range of the coffee grinder. And we'll see with the coffee grinder out of play if the Sword of Light is able to return to the 1500 meter limit. And we see the other fighter being taken out there. Let's get a damage report. Iron Maid 100%, Sword of Light 100%. So we are down to the 2 capital ships. All of the support ships have been eliminated from this fight. And the Iron Maid deploys quite a bit of smoke, moving towards the enemy here, which is going to kind of leave that smoke trail behind so that the smoke clouds won't stack quite as well, but still doesn't appear to be taking any damage from that laser. It looks like the Sword of Light likes to maintain a range of about 1400 meters, whereas the Iron Maid likes to be about 1000 meters. So we actually see the Iron Maid slowly creeping towards its enemy, where it usually slowly creeps away. And the Sword of Light appears to be in trouble here, is dipping down to the surface of the water. Appears to have taken some damage. Yeah, it's losing its Hellblade spinners. And dropping down in the water. That's going to hurt the damage of its laser, but may protect it a little from the cannons on the Iron Maid. You can see some of those shots hitting the surface of the water, and skipping right over the top of the Sword of Light. Of course, now we also have to worry about, if you believe, you can see in the distance, the torpedoes are away. The Sword of Light doesn't want to stay down in the water too long, or those torpedoes will certainly deal quite a bit of damage. Torpedoes getting closer here, about 500 meters away, and closing. Sword of Light all the way down to 78% and is diving. Appears to have lost all control and is just diving down here into the deep, sinking. As we can see, we're all the way down here to 62 meters and falling. Haven't had too many submarines, so I'm a little rusty on the depth limit. I think it's 50 meters. I mean, not that it really matters. This light sword is pretty much out of the battle here. All over but the Cryan. Oops. Yeah, down to 75. Not seeing any cannon shells anymore from the Iron Maid. Just the torpedoes slowly making their way down here and getting that continued damage in. I think we'll let this go just one more minute and then call this a victory for the Sword of Light. Alright, yeah, let's get this reset and get the final battle underway. Alright, and here is our third and final battle of the episode. The Sword of Light by Xionyx trying to knock out the Iron Maid and Coffee Grinder by Poldarn and move on in the competition. You can see those fighters coming in for that early strike, and once again the missiles are getting through and doing quite a bit of damage to the Iron Maid, somehow able to withstand those attacks and getting extremely close. I could see the cannon components in there, so just a little bit more damage on those cannon turrets and the Iron Maid would have almost certainly detonated. You can see the Coffee Grinder getting taken out by that fighter as it flies away, and the Sword of Light getting lined up. It's at its distance and is now firing its very powerful laser system. You can see the second fighter here. We have both fighters surviving the Alpha Strike. The Coffee Grinder going down. Let's get a damage report. So it looks like both fighters a little bit damaged. And oh, there we go. Huge explosion on the Iron Maid. It is extremely damaged. It looked like the Sword of Light was able to get some shots in from the side and core in and detonate some of the custom cannons or possibly the ammo stores. And it's all over now for the Iron Maid. So these fighter craft were extremely effective. They look to be very small. I imagine a very low RP cost, probably below 100k, and still very effective. As you saw there, they were able to take out the coffee grinder and get a lot of good damage in on the Iron Maid, as well as draw its attention. It was turned facing them, and made it a lot easier for that laser to core a hole in the side and detonate its explosive insides. And very quickly here, we're going to have the end of the episode. Iron Maid all the way down to 80%. I don't believe it will recover. And there we saw the chain reaction. And the Iron Maid is no more. So congratulations to the Sword of Light by Xionyx. You are the winner of this episode, and we'll move on to face your own entry, the Truth of Christmas, in our next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed these battles, and if you did, go ahead and click on that next video. We'll have another exciting battle here in From the Depths.